There are just 93 days until November's election, and one of the races we're keeping an eye on is the race between current Governor Brian Kemp and Democratic challenger Stacey Abrams. And this morning, Abrams will be on today's episode of Meet the Press. I'm joined by host Chuck Todd right now. Good morning, Chuck.
Good morning, Christy.
The latest 11 Alive Survey USA poll shows the gap between the candidates here is razor thin, well within the margin of error. What do you think this means for Abrams?
Well, look, I think there's two ways to look at her polling right now. On one hand, I think she should feel pretty good to be that close against a sitting incumbent. But when you look at her race and you juxtapose it to the Senate race and you see that Raphael Warnock, the incumbent Democratic senator, he seems to be building a solid, though it's a smaller lead, but it's a solid small lead against Herschel Walker. And the fact that he leads in all the polls that also have Kemp leading. So, you know, it's one of those, if you just look at the Kemp-Abrams race, you think, boy, Abrams within the margin of error, everything still looks possible for her. But when you see her numbers compared to Warnock's, you see that there seems to be a developing split ticket possibility here where perhaps it's suburban Atlanta voters who are willing to vote Kemp-Warnock, and that you start to see Kemp-Warnock voters. So that is something, if I were the Stacey Abrams campaign, I'd be concerned about.
Definitely something to watch. So we know that on your show this morning, Stacey Abrams will be discussing abortion and her plan to fight Georgia's heartbeat law that is currently in effect if she were to win. What do you think her side on this issue means for votes and support?
Well, look, I do think, and when the Roe decision happened, it was going to mean that I think governor's races, more so than Senate races, were going to be the front lines of the abortion debate. Because if this became a state issue, then this is all about what governors are going to do. And if you have an issue with your state's abortion law, the best place to express that is in the governor's race. So, look, I expect her campaign to become more about this issue, I think, as the fall approaches, because I think when you look at the other issues here, that's probably Kemp's biggest vulnerability with the middle-of-the-road voter that Abrams has to win over if she's going to win this governor's race.
All right, Chuck, thanks as always. Meet the Press comes on at 10 a.m. this morning, right after our broadcast ends, so be sure to tune in.